You know, Prince Harry is back on the front pages this morning following a new battle with the royals, is what they're calling it, over police protection. Royal editor Russell Myers with me now. So this is all a bit of a shame. He wants to come back,
yes,
but he's worried about the safety of his family, and he says he needs proper protection.
Well, he does. I mean, I think that's indisputable.
Oh,
you know,
he's
a member of one of the most famous families in the world. He has a new celebrity lifestyle, very, very famous himself, his wife and his family and whatnot. And, of course, he's chosen to go and live in America, which is arguably a lot more unsafe than the UK.
Indeed.
Now, this row, which is, you know, again, putting them right back in the spotlight, threatening relationships with his family, the facts are that Prince Harry is essentially potentially suing the British government. Now, the Home Office made a decision after he chose to leave the royal family in order to decide not to pay for his security when he was in the UK. Now,
right.
Harry says that he disagrees with that judgment. He wants the judicial review. He might even have to go to the High Court to face off against the Home Office. So it could potentially get very, very messy. And people have told me, you know, within sort of royal circles, that this is particularly misguided. They can't see a way that he would particularly win. So, you know...
You can't hire Scotland Yard.
You can't. And, you know...
Can't. But to be fair, he says he's going to... He'll pay anything.
Well,
he'll pay the bill. It's not like he's asking the Queen or the public to pay. He'll do it himself.
But you just said it yourself. Scotland Yard are not for hire. He already has, you know, A-list celebrity bodyguards.
Yes.
He borrowed some from Tyler Perry when they went over to United States. And so why can't they do that here? His argument is that they don't have necessarily the access to the intelligence system.
Yes.
However, the point was made to me yesterday that Prince Charles, when he was in a relationship with Camilla, she wasn't necessarily in the royal fold in sort of the early 2000s. He paid privately for his own security to look after her. So why couldn't Harry do that? Former retired personal, private protection officers looking after himself and his family like Charles did. So there is a precedent there, and there's no precedent for doing what he's doing.
No, it just feels awful. You know, why go to court? Could he not just have picked the phone up to his dad and say, look, I want to come over here. You've not seen your granddaughter yet. We want to bring the kids, but we're worried. You know, can we fix it? Like, can we sort something out? And then maybe Charles would have said, well, look, I've got these great guys that looked after Camilla and la, la, la. And it would have been fine rather than having to go to court. Is their relationship so bad that he can't do that?
Well, it begs the question, doesn't it? And I think that, particularly sadly, if he doesn't come back, and you know, we're now asking questions of whether he will come back for Prince Philip's memorial service in April. Will he be back for the Jubilee celebrations in June? One would have assumed that, you know, that was already agreed.
Right.
If he is now saying that the UK is not safe enough for my family to visit, then where does that leave him with the relationships with his family? I would imagine it's not very much better than it was a few months ago.
That's a shame. I mean, this is basically a blip compared with what's going on with Prince Andrew, of course.
Indeed.
And our Ranveer is on our screens in a new documentary tomorrow night, investigating the whole relationship between Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell.
The one that really catches your attention is the one up here. And this is for the Duke of York. There's what looks like a mobile phone number on here for him. I'm going to give it a go.
I'm afraid I've not been quick enough to get to the phone before it went off to take your message. If you do have a message, please leave it and I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Oh my goodness, that is actually Prince Andrew straight through to his voice. But what if he'd actually answered? Can you imagine, for goodness sake? I mean, this story keeps moving on all the time. What is the latest? What's happening now?
Well, the latest is, I mean, he has been told that he's got to face a civil trial against his sex abuse accuser, Virginia Giuffre, and we expect that will be sometime in the autumn. Now, it's getting particularly interesting because both sides are sort of getting their ducks in a row, and we understand that Prince Andrew's legal team want to not only question Virginia Giuffre, who has accused him of, these catalogue of sexual offences back in 2001 that he's always denied. But they want to interview not only her, but her husband and her therapist, most interestingly.
See, I didn't think you were allowed to do that.
Well, again, I
don't know, but patient, you know...
Again, not a legal expert, but I wouldn't have assumed you could have subpoenaed a therapist. It's not a criminal trial, it's a civil trial. But this centres upon the point that Prince Andrew's lawyers say that her recollections aren't right. Perhaps she's, mistaken in her memories, which is very interesting because, we do remember that he has said that he has no recollection of ever meeting her. He disputed the photograph that he was pictured in Ghislaine Maxwell's house. So it's all getting...
And he was in Pizza Express, although the waiter has never come forward and took his order.
Precisely that. So it's all getting a bit bizarre.
And also, Russell, they had a go at Virginia Giuffre, didn't they? They had a go when they tried to get the civil case dismissed in the first place. Well, that never went well for them, did it? You know, that backfired spectacularly. And there's something very distasteful about them going after her in this way.
Well, again, what option do they have? I mean, his legal team will say, you know, it is their perfect right to be able to do this. I mean, Virginia Giuffre's team, we were led to believe that Princess Beatrice might be called because she was the person that Andrew said he was taking to the Pizza Express at the time, although no alibi has come forward. We understand that she's not going to be called, but who else may be called? We understand that one of his equerries, a chap called Robert Olney, will be called. What does he know about Prince Andrew's movements at the time will be very, very interesting. And interesting as well, a woman called Shukri Walker, who you've had her on your show before. Lisa Bloom is her lawyer. And Miss Walker claims that she stood on Prince Andrew's toe in Tramp's nightclub when Virginia Giuffre alleges they were dancing together and he was sweating. Now, his excuse was, of course, he wasn't there because he can't sweat. I'm sure this will, all the lawyers will be poring over the fine detail of this.
Gosh, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Now, tell me about this that I saw at the weekend, and I'm baffled by this. It's something to do with Prince Andrew getting very upset about his teddy bears not being in the right order on his bed, and I thought this was when he was 3.5 years old.
No.
What is going on here?
Well, again, you can see it in Ranvir's documentary because this is very, very interesting that they've not only spoken to people that connected Ghislaine Maxwell, who speaks about their relationship, but it sort of paints the picture of Prince Andrew not only as a petulant man, but a petulant boy when he was a bit younger, living in Buckingham Palace. And he used to kick off, shout and scream, stamp his feet when his collection of 60 teddy bears weren't arranged in perfect order on his bed. And the maids and the PPOs all had to be given a laminated card with a perfect picture of how he wanted his teddy bears to be arranged. I mean, it can tell you potentially a lot about the makeup of the man.
I know how I would like to arrange his teddy bears for him, and I don't think he would be very happy. How absolutely, utterly, just when you think it can't get any more odd, it gets more odd.
I'm sure it's got a lot more to go, to be honest.
Russell, thank you. That documentary is going to be fascinating. Thank you so much. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.